of vipers, how will you escape being condemned to hell? For you are like whitewashed tombs, all of you, which outwardly appear beautiful, but within are full of dead people's bones, profaning my father's house, and all uncleanness. For you also outwardly appear righteous to others, but within, stop making my father's house a place of business. No! You are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. You build the tombs of the prophets. Look what you've done to my father's house. But in your actions, you now reveal that you are sons of those who murdered the prophets.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge news. Donald Trump has announced that he has ordered Pam Bondi to finally release the Epstein files. Now, there is a caveat. Subject to court approval. So if the courts allow this to happen, we are getting the Epstein files. So here's what Donald Trump had to say. Based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetuated by Democrats should end now. The President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. This is a win. Do not let up for a second. Do not let up on this. Continue on. By the end of this, we will have everything related to Epstein. Keep the pressure campaign on. Now, what I will say is that there are going to be people who look at this and go, wow, this isn't the whole thing, or naysayers, doubters, backbenchers, and people that just wanted to use this Epstein situation to shit on Donald Trump, or people that just wanted to use the Trump hate to generate clicks and views. You know who those type of content creators are. But this is a massive, colossal win. And if Donald Trump delivers on this, this is going to be one step forward in rehabilitating Trump's reputation from the disastrous and absolutely indefensible quote-unquote release or handling of the Epstein files. The binders and stuff like that, that was embarrassing, humiliating, and I'm a huge Trump supporter, and I acknowledge that that was absolutely disgraceful and pathetic. But this is a huge win. So let's take a moment. Let's celebrate it. Let's enjoy it. We have one step forward. I know that some people are like, I want everything at once. All in due time. All in due time. But this is a win. We're going to be getting more information about the Epstein case. Now, is it the client list? No, which means that we have to continue to push. We have to continue to demand more and more information. Put the pressure on even more. That's what I'm talking about. This is a huge, massive win. And I want to thank everyone, even people like Moist Critical and CoffeeZilla, who I think have a more anti-Trump left-wing perspective. I want to thank them too. I want to thank everyone. This is a major win. We want to see the people involved in Jeffrey Epstein brought to justice. And it's not just me. It's not just me. There are millions of people that want to know who was going on the Lolita Express to Epstein Island. We want to see those people held accountable. We want the documents. We want the information. And a lot of people are at the point, the consequences be damned. We don't care if they're foreign dignitaries, if they're Republicans, if they're Democrats, if it's Trump's own family, if it's Trump himself, if it's Kevin Spacey, if it's, Stephen King. Stephen King, the pervert pedophile the guy that wrote a child gang rape scene in the book It, the only time he's ever agreed with Trump is, oh, there's nothing to see with this Epstein thing. Mighty suspicious. Maybe doth protest too much. Thou doth protest a bit too enthusiastically, good sir. So, this is a win. I'm glad to see this, but keep the pressure on. Release everything, including the bank records. Absolutely, Hodge Twins. We want to know who was paying Epstein. Epstein did not pay himself. You know, you say Epstein didn't kill himself. He also didn't pay himself. Who was paying Epstein? Investigate those payments and find out what they were for. And if they were for things that were illicit, charge those people to the fullest extent of the law, broadcast the trial, and Trump, you can wipe your hands of this. But wipe your hands of it, I mean, you can, be like Pontius Pilate. I wipe my hands clean of this. You would get so much goodwill if you started going after the people who actually were involved in this. People want scalps, metaphorically, and in some cases, like with Asmongold, literally. And I didn't think that Asmongold, an atheist, and me, a Christian, would agree on this, but I actually support Asmongold and his, let's say, suggestion that we bring back public crucifixions for people who are kid dealers. Please, don't put the documents on your desk. Release the files, not the redacted grand jury testimony. Now, if the grand jury testimony is heavily redacted, we're just going to have to keep pushing forward. And that's the thing here. They're going to be resistant. Obviously, Trump doesn't want to release this. But we are going to continue to push. But this is a win. And by the way, there's another win. Donald Trump is suing the Washington Post because they posted what he claims is a fake letter between him and Epstein. So here we got this. Well, this is also a bit of good news. President Trump says he is suing the Wall Street Journal following their hit piece on him tonight. I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else. And he won, by the way. Trump told the paper, I guess Wall Street Journal didn't learn from the massive payouts by NBC and CBS. Absolutely. Yeah, they defamed him, and then he sued them, and he won. And Bernie Sanders went on Joe Rogan, well, that's a democracy. There's the free press. The free press gets to lie and defame people. Yeah, by the way, Bernie had nothing to say about Gavin Newsom suing Fox News. Nothing to say because he's a decrepit, disgusting, hypocritical, dishonest, communist freak. And, Bernie Sanders should not be in public office. He should not be in public office. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what a shocking development. I didn't think it'd be over so quick. Now, I say over, but you have to keep in mind, yesterday, we were at the point of Trump saying, you're getting nothing, and if you don't support me in this, you're not MAGA. I don't want you. I don't want your support. You're bad people. We went from that yesterday to this today. Hey, you're getting the grand jury testimony. And it says all pertinent. I know people are going to focus on the all pertinent. All pertinent. Well, what's pertinent? Release the whole thing. Yeah, we're getting a little piece of this, and then we're going to continue to demand more and more and more. We're going to continue to demand it because we want to see these pedophiles, I would say metaphorically, but we want to see them crucified on the White House lawn. We want justice to return to this country. We want a message to be sent that if you are going to prey on children, there is going to be a punishment. There is going to be a wrath involved. And that is part of making America great again and bringing us back to the golden age. So I'm sure that a lot of people will have a lot of different opinions on this. I'm sure some content creators, like I said, will be highly skeptical and, oh, I don't believe this. And that's fine. That's fine to be skeptical. Be skeptical. But if you're not able to take a win like this, and then move the ball forward, you're going to be stuck in the same spot. And this is one of the reasons why the left always loses in the end. Because they are so stuck in their ways. They can't just take a win and move forward. Everything they do has to be couched in these multiple layers of bullshit. But if Trump releases this, and it's a step forward, that is going to be a major win. That's going to be a major win. Let us celebrate. Let us celebrate the wins. And if it's not what we think it is, we will demand even more. We will speak even louder. I will make more videos on this. We will amplify everything until we get a look at who these rich and powerful people are, and until we can see them held to account for what they did. We are going to be demanding this over and over and over and over and over and over again. We're going to be doing this until we get the whole file. We want the client list. We want who was paying Epstein. We want the bank records. We want to see where the money was going, where it was coming from. We want to see every bit of detail about this so that we can get to the bottom of who was going to Lolita Island and who was paying Epstein. And we want the information now, Mr. President. This is a huge win. I want to say thank you to Donald Trump for doing this and actually listening to people. Yeah, he was tone deaf yesterday. But the fact that he would, first of all, fire one of the lawyers that was involved in the Epstein case that was working at the Department of Justice, fire them, and then come out with this. Thank you. Finally, Democrats, we demand justice for Epstein victims. Trump, great. Here's the grand jury testimony. Wait, no, not like that. Yeah, because the Democrats never cared about this. And by the way, let me just also talk about the Democrats, the skeevy, disgusting, degenerate, pedophilic freaks. That whole, let's release all of the Epstein file, that whole charade that they put on, that charade. They were never going to release the Epstein file because it was poorly written. It would basically release everything, including victims and child porn. I know Moist Critical goes, there's no way that's going to happen. What are you, a Cro-Magnon? I have my criticisms of Moist Critical. I think that he gets too exuberant in some cases, and I think that his political knowledge, is basically akin to my toilet after I've taken a shit. So I'm not relying too heavily on his knowledge of this stuff, but I think that he fell into that sort of trap because a lot of stupid people really, really bought that hook, line, and sinker, and it was attaching this poorly written Epstein amendment to another bill to try to get it passed. It was manipulative. It was disgraceful. And the Democrats did that because these are some of the most soul-sucking degenerate freaks we've ever seen. And the fact is that now that Trump has released this, these people are probably going to come out and be against the release of it, saying, how could you just release it? This is child porn. These people have no principles. They have no morals. They have no scruples. They will do anything in the moment, not thinking about the long term, not thinking about any principles, not thinking about any justice. They're just thinking about what can they get away with in the moment? What can they use in the moment to try to hurt people that they don't like. That's it. That's about as far as this party thinks. But this is a win, and we take those W's here, ladies and gentlemen. What a major development. Asmongold doesn't stream for one day, and we get the Epstein files. Yeah, well, we're getting the grand jury first. I understand. I'm not saying that we're going to get the whole thing right off the bat, but we're going to continue to push, and we're going to continue to demand the release of the whole thing. Little by little, we're going to get everything. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. See you next time.